Please welcome the Honorable Prakash Ramadhar. Good evening to each and every one of you. This evening was really uplifting. It was heartening, and it was something that I will treasure for many, many years to come. The gathering of the COP, as I look into the crowd, I see I see many of our founding members. I see many of the new army of the COP. And when I look into this room, I see a dedicated group of persons who really the nation owes a great debt to. And the reason I say this is because as you look around the country itself, you realize there's a dire need for standard setters, people who understand true value, people who are committed not by their words alone, but by their actions and by the dedication of their work to making this nation a far better place. Trinidad and Tobago needs the COP now more than ever. This last year, 2013, was not the best of years for your party. Indeed, we've had tremendous challenges internally and externally in the wider politics, being a significant, in fact, a co-parent of the People's Partnership. Having faced several elections in Chaguanas West, in Tobago, and certainly, of course, local government, and in St. Joseph, things did not go as well as we would have liked it to have gone. But these are the things that we must learn from. And the COP is a very serious-minded party. We are not here for a day or for a year, but we are here for a long, long time. And it is important in that context to really reflect as to where we are now, where we had come from, but more important than anything else, where we must go. As Carolyn had put it, today really is a present, because in the present, that is a gift God has given to us, that we will determine the future that we want. The COP must stop living in the past. The COP must rededicate itself to its founding principles, which it has never left, but has gone silent in a large part because of the criticisms that we are faced with. Many from the outside who wish to see us dead, and many from the inside who equally wished, I'm using the past tense, to have seen us die. But the news for all of them is that you cannot kill a value system. You cannot kill love. You cannot kill dedication, nor can you kill patriots. And this is the party of patriots. And I continue to make that statement. Many will criticize me that I repeat. But I have been told, and the psychologists will tell us if it is true, that for the truth to really resonate deep inside, it need not just be spoken once, but I understand 26 times. 26 times. So I want you all, each and every one of you, to carry the message of who we are, what we've stood for, and what we will fight for. This last year, as I said, was not the best. But we have an election in 2015. I want to tell you that the best years of the COP are ahead of us, not behind us. And the reason I will say these things is not because I'm here and I have to make you feel good. No. I say it because it is true. When we were born, given birth in 2006, there was a great expectation. In 2007, that expectation blossomed into a great hope. And after the election, a lot of people felt deflated. We never gave up. We went right into 2010. Again, reviving that hope and ambition to make this nation far, far better. Indeed, the expectations were so raised that many in the country figured and felt that it would have happened overnight. That there was some magic wand that we could have waved, or a switch we could have pressed, a button to say go, and all the good things that we had promised would have happened. Let me say this now. In this year, coming, 2014, these are the things that you will see in your nation. 1, constitutional reform. 2, procurement legislation. 3, party and campaign financing. 4, new planning laws. 5, a new thrust in the protection of the environment. And I want to tell you, any one of those 5 will be a great achievement in any nation. And we shall expect these things to happen in the year 2014. None of them could have had the hope of coming into existence without a Congress of the people. And as one of my friends told me years ago, he said, don't tell me, show me. So the criticisms that your party and the partnership would have faced in this last several years, this year 2014 is truly the year that will either break or make the hope and the heart of our population. Many had asked for us to abdicate our responsibility to leave, to walk, without fulfilling these great ambitious things that are not just for a day, but for future generations. Because these things, when they happen, and they must, it will be on the insistence of the COP. It will change the very way Trinidad and Tobago sees itself. Because as I celebrate tonight with you, this happy and joyous occasion, as we mark Christmas 2013, my wife is not here with me. And I told a little white lie earlier to many. Where is Jay? Where is Urvi? Well, it is true that Urvi has exams this week and they're studying. But Jay says, you see the death of this child this week? I do not want to bring sourness or negativity into the environment, but it's important that she cannot celebrate. She cannot celebrate Christmas while these things happen in our villages and in our country. How many children are being abused tonight and into tomorrow? And we must take personal responsibility. And Ms. Mora, I'm so happy with your statement. Very, very happy with your statement. But the work of the COP is really to raise awareness of the important issues in the nation and to find solutions to help fix this evil thing. The most evil of things you could have is an abuse of a child or widespread abuse of children, far less the murder of children. These things, no government could really protect each child. And we've heard it said, I think it was Hillary Clinton who had said, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a village to protect one. It takes a community. It takes families. It takes friends to always be vigilant to the possibility. Because earlier we were talking, Dr. Mahabir and our table, about this awful thing. And I do not want to spend more than a minute more on it. But it really is about an awareness that you cannot trust. The human instinct and nature could be so awful that our most prized possession, our children, could not be left to one person or the control or oversight of a few. We all have to look after every child as if they were our own. And that will be one of the programs of the COP in the next year coming. I see I shan't call her name, but I got a text message on Friday evening. And that text message led me to think, what can we do? What must we do? The answer is, we cannot afford to do nothing. We must act. Because in that effort to protect children is really to protect the very essence of who we are and what we intend to be. And in that effort, we shall raise by our example and by what we say and what we do the standards by which we shall live. Carolyn spoke eloquently about the need for a new paradigm of standards in the country. That has been spoken 1,000,000 times before. But the time is now that we shall not enter into empty rhetoric, but take positive action. And whenever wrong is done, we shall highlight it. Because the nation needs that effort so that people will once again understand what is acceptable and what is not. And I'm not speaking only about harm to children. I'm talking about every facet of life that we grew up with, knowing full well the things that we can do, what we should do, what we must never do, and what should bring shame and disgrace to you and your family. But there seems to have been a blurring of the lines in the last decade or more, where many people do not even understand what is acceptable, what is not, what is right, what is wrong. And that is in a large part because the vast majority of the good souls in this nation have gone silent. Because they see in the news every single day the negativity, the criminality, the wrongness that gets the highlight. And a lot have started to perceive that that's the mainstream of who we are, but it is not. So it is a call to the nation's good for us to stand up and point out what is wrong and say we will not accept these things. And in the politics as we are in, those 5 things I spoke about earlier, those are the structural issues that will highlight those things. But each and every one of you, including the lovely children here, have a duty to each other to make this place better than it is now. Far, far better. Because if we do not take responsibility, individual responsibility now, in a short period of time, there will be no opportunity to return or to grab this country by the scruff of the neck and say, enough is enough. I will not allow this country to be destroyed by lowness and cheap politics. When people are deceived by political words and giving them hope or falsehoods, only to be used. The expectation of the gimme, gimme, that I will give this to you if you do this for me. Souls are being bought in the politics, not the COP. This year, when we called for persons to come forward for our local government elections, I was blown away by the quality and quantity of persons who presented to the Congress of the People. How easy it would have been for you, many of you here, to have gone to the false promise, to have gone green, or to have gone red, or to have gone whatever. No. You knew that there was one party and one party only in this nation, in the politics of this nation, that has as its core fundamental values, true ideals, that is manifest every day by the example many of us set. How easy it would have been to say, you know what, let me go see what I could get rather than what I could give. And as your political leader, I'm extraordinarily proud of each and every one of you here tonight. And I ask you to give yourselves a round of applause. This next year will require from all of us a renewed effort, a revitalized party in every community, not just at the top, but in the middle, on the ground. As we move forward to prevent the divisions of the past, we must move to create a nation that the only divide I want to see, not to do with which political party you belong to, what region of the country you've come from, what social level, what economic level you belong to. The only divide I want to see in this country is between those who are good and those who are bad. And we will then see the large numbers of the good and the small numbers of the bad, and we shall crush them even more and more, because we will hold hands together to stand for that which is right and proper, so that our children and their children will have a society that you will want them to grow up in. That is the burden of the Congress of the People. It is a burden that I'm very confident we will carry, because we've done it in the past against all of the odds. We've been able to stand firm, stand strong in the face of all criticisms and all negativity, and say, here we are not going away. We will never abdicate our responsibility to this generation and to our future generations. That, to me, is a divine work that we were all born to, whether you want to call it politics, whether you want to call it religion, whatever you wish to call it. Human nature is of such that if it is not nurtured, there's something, Carolyn, you might tell us more about, is the law of atrophy. What the law of atrophy is, a universal law, that things will generally deteriorate if it is not given care, attention, and some effort to uphold. And that is what has happened to this nation. There's a level of atrophy where things are falling apart because not sufficient has been done to nurture the soul of this nation. That good will always prevail over evil. Right must always be right, and the wrong must be condemned. This is our challenge in this year coming. The elections of 2015 are very, very important, because many of the changes we want to initiate and to make happen require more than one term. We've done incredibly well against all of the criticism in this period of time, 3.5 years, being in government, in partnership with partners. We carry the burden and some of the fame for the good and the bad. Your party created this partnership. Your party must ensure that this partnership lives up to the best expectation. And the year 2014 is the year when we will stand firm on what was promised to our people. But more important than that, the year 2014 will be a rebirth of the COP. I say shake off all of the critics and the ill-willed who wish to have destroyed us. The party will stand firm and strong against all the enemies from external or internal. And we've taken one first step. I dare anyone to try to derail the work of this noble institution called the Congress of the People. This year coming is a new year. As we celebrate the birth of our Christ, let us understand the significance of that. It means that no matter how bad you think things are, when Christ was born, he restored hope. And we celebrate that at Christmas. Every day we arise is a new opportunity to change the way things were yesterday. We cannot deal with what has happened in the past as much as we can deal with what we have now and work towards a better tomorrow. So let me stop now by saying, your best years of your party, the Congress of the People, are yet to come. God bless you all.
Very profound words from our political leader, Minister Prakash Ramadhar.